On the night of June 12, 1994, a brutal and bloody crime shattered the quiet, upscale neighborhood of Brentwood, Los Angeles. Outside a condominium on Bundy Drive, Nicole Brown Simpson, the ex-wife of former NFL superstar O.J. Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman were found stabbed to death. The attack was savage. Both victims suffered multiple wounds, and the crime scene told investigators this was not a random act. It was personal, violent, and fueled by intense rage. Almost immediately, attention turned toward one man, Orenthal James Simpson. To the public, O.J. Simpson was a beloved sports icon, a charismatic television personality, and a symbol of success. But behind the fame was a turbulent personal life that few truly understood. The murders marked the beginning of a criminal case that would captivate the nation, redefine media coverage of trials, and expose deep divisions within American society.
The Los Angeles Police Department right now is actively searching for Mr. Simpson.
Here's what we know right now, Lieutenant Duncan.
It was just the beginning.
This was the perfect soap opera. The O.J. Simpson murder case was the first true reality show for the country.
Okay, let's go. Here we go.
People were talking about them trying to rekindle their relationship. And it was because of all the stalking and everything that was going on with him and her that she says, he's never going to leave me alone. I am never going to get rid of him. I may as well go back to him. Those were her words to me.
O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown met in the late 1970s, married in 1985, and quickly became one of Los Angeles's most recognizable couples. But the marriage was deeply troubled. Police records would later reveal a long history of domestic violence, with Nicole calling 911 multiple times over the years, often terrified and desperate. Photos documenting her injuries would eventually be shown to the jury, painting a picture of a relationship marked by control, jealousy, and fear. Although the couple divorced in 1992, prosecutors argued that Simpson never truly let go. Nicole attempted to rebuild her life, but investigators believed O.J. remained obsessed with her. According to the prosecution, this obsession, combined with rage and rejection, would ultimately lead to the deadly confrontation on Bundy Drive. When police arrived at the scene, they encountered a horrifying sight. Blood covered the ground, the walls, and the bodies of both victims. Nicole's injuries were especially severe, indicating she had been the primary target. Ron Goldman, who had simply stopped by to return a pair of glasses, appeared to have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Investigators recovered several key pieces of evidence, including a bloody glove, shoe prints, and blood samples. The brutality of the crime suggested the killer was familiar with the victims. As detectives began retracing O.J. Simpson's movements that night, inconsistencies quickly emerged, raising serious red flags.
Ex-wife of a popular former NFL star was murdered. It was the start of what became known as the O.J. Simpson saga. The ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman were found slashed to death outside of her condo in Los Angeles.
"5 days after the murders, O.J. Simpson was scheduled to turn himself in. Instead, he disappeared. What followed would become one of the most surreal moments in television history. On June 17, 1994, viewers across the country watched live as Simpson rode in the back of a white Ford Bronco, driven by his longtime friend Al Cowlings, while dozens of police vehicles followed at low speed. Simpson reportedly had a gun and threatened to take his own life. Over 95 million people tuned in. Highways were shut down. Fans lined overpasses holding signs. It was no longer just a criminal case. it was a national obsession.
Highway Patrol.
Yeah, I think I just saw O.J. Simpson on the 5 freeway, and he's heading north.
Oh, you weren't there, but you got everybody scared.
Yeah.
The famous low-speed chase, covered live for hours, rivets the nation
Hey, we don't care.
and ends with Simpson's eventual surrender at his home on Rockingham Avenue.
Go.
When the trial began in 1995, the world was watching. Court TV broadcast every moment, turning attorneys into celebrities and witnesses into household names. Prosecutors presented DNA evidence that appeared to place Simpson at the crime scene, inside his Bronco, and at his home. Blood matching Simpson's DNA was found near the victims, and blood matching the victims was found on Simpson's property. But the defense team, known as the Dream Team, launched a powerful counterattack. They challenged the handling of evidence, pointed out procedural mistakes, and suggested contamination. Most damaging was their focus on Detective Mark Furman, whose racist language and credibility issues severely weakened the prosecution's case.
Outside the courthouse, it's a circus. Inside, a real-life drama unfolding, with millions of people watching.
One moment would forever define the trial. In front of the jury, O.J. Simpson was asked to try on the bloody gloves recovered from the crime scene and his property. As he struggled to pull them on, they appeared too small. Cameras captured every second. The defense delivered one of the most famous lines in legal history: "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." That single image, Simpson holding up gloved hands, would echo far beyond the courtroom.
All right, will you show that to the jury, Mr. Simpson, in that manner? Thank you. Other hand, please.
We asked him to make a fist with his left hand while the glove is on the ground. So we asked him to make a fist with his right hand while the glove is on the ground.
He is doing both.
On October 3rd, 1995, after less than 4 hours of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: not guilty. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Celebrations erupted in some communities, while others reacted with disbelief and anger. The verdict revealed deep racial and cultural divides in America, with public opinion sharply split over whether justice had been served. For the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, the verdict was devastating.
Only the jury knew as the moment arrived the verdict in the O.J. Simpson case.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
By now, the news is well known, but many questions remain. How did the jury decide that O.J. Simpson was not guilty on all counts? And as he celebrates at his home tonight, what is the future for this most famous murder defendant ever now that he's free? What of his children? Can the Goldman family find the justice they're seeking in a civil suit against Simpson?
Though acquitted in criminal court, O.J. Simpson faced a civil wrongful death lawsuit. In 1997, a jury found him liable and ordered him to pay $33.5 million in damages. The families say most of that money was never paid. Years later, Simpson was sentenced to prison for an unrelated armed robbery, a twist many saw as poetic justice. He was released in 2017, but his reputation was forever changed. The O.J. Simpson case was never just about a murder trial. It was about celebrity influence, race, police misconduct, media power, and the limits of the justice system. Decades later, it remains one of the most analyzed and debated cases in American history. The evidence still exists, the footage is still available, and the question remains unanswered for millions. Did O.J. Simpson get away with murder, or was reasonable doubt enough?